this is Maninrabu from Batam. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
I'm Sela Sadakau from Vatupula. I only listen to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold Naka, I'm Vale and I'm working at Golden Grove Resort, and I love listening to Gold FM because it plays a really wide range of classic music.
I'm Saini Sakio from Kashmir Wotoka. I like Gold FM, but only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Good evening, I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. This is FBC News. Tonight, Fiji likely to host more Super Rugby matches. More Itoke land to be developed. And Fiji continues to experience tourist growth. The historic Super Rugby match between the Chiefs and the Crusaders at the ANZ Stadium in Suva last night may have been the first of its kind. However, from the way things wrapped up, chances are high that it's not going to be the last. Rohit Deo reports as the Chiefs won 23-13 on a rainy and windy night.
We want to host another game of Super Rugby next year.
Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has indicated that Fiji wants to host another Super Rugby match, and he will make it his business to bring it back to our shores.
Special thanks, of course, to the Chiefs for bringing their home game to Fiji. And our omen, a good omen, they won. So for all Super 15 teams, if you want to win, bring your home game here.
Playing his 100th test, Chiefs hooker Hika Elliott was pleased with the win and amazed at the reception he got from the Fijian fans.
Acknowledging Hika Elliott.
The people here in Fiji have been wonderful. They've really accepted us as their home team, and the atmosphere out there tonight was pretty crazy. And for a guy that's played 100 games, you know, that was a pretty cool experience.
And so it's a 7-point game.
Crusaders coach Todd Blackadder was disappointed with the loss, but says it was an amazing atmosphere to play in Fiji.
Well done to Fiji and for the crowd. It was amazing, really. It was fantastic. Nice to be part of a great occasion.
It was an evening which will be remembered by thousands of Fijians for many years to come. Both teams left the country today, leaving rugby fans in Fiji hoping and waiting to host another match next season. Rohit Deo, FBC News.
More than 200 police officers were part of the Super Rugby operation to ensure that there were no major incidents during the first ever match between the Chiefs and Crusaders yesterday. Chief of Operations ACP Rusiate Tunravu says the only report received from the games venue was of people trying to beat the intricate ticketing system, whereby sold tickets were either photocopied and attempts to reuse them proved futile. He says that a drone technology was introduced last night to assist in their operation and to keep an eye on the outer cordoned off areas. ACP Tundravu has acknowledged the support from the public as there were no major incidents reported. Now, over 4 acres of land at Tamavua village in Neitasiri will be developed for commercial purposes. This has been confirmed by Attorney General Ayaz Sayed Qayyum after the government gave the green light for development following a meeting with the landowners today. Ali Kimbia has the details.
These landowners of Tamavua village in Neitasiri will now be able to bear the fruit of their hard work after 9 years of planning.
Apart from assisting the landowners and getting them to become true landlords, it also contributes to economic growth. Because when you have more land available for productive use, whether it's residential, whether it's tourism, whether it's industrial, commercial, etc., it does contribute to economic growth.
This piece of land will be developed into residential lots where landowners can sell, rent or lease out.
With government's assistance and with the work that we are doing, we are hoping to get all of this taken to completion in the next 10 to 11 months.
Said Qayyum says this development will create more opportunities for the landowners.
Hopefully it will also create for them more opportunities, and more landowners will come forward and want to participate as business people in developing their own land. It will give them that level of confidence and that's what we want to do.
The project is part of the government's assistance to the Itoke landowners for this year, setting aside $10 million for the development of Itoke land in the country. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Fiji continues to experience growth in visitor arrivals for the first 6 months of the year, despite the devastation caused by Tropical Cyclone Winston. Tourism Minister Fayaz Koya says there's been a 4.7% increase in arrivals from January to June compared to the same time last year. Ellen Stoltz reports.
Damage and ruins caused by a Category 5 cyclone did not drastically affect visitor arrivals to our shores this year. Tourism Minister Fayaz Koya says he's pleased with the growth and they're adamant to keep these numbers up.
We've done well. I think the Tourism Fiji and all the private sector have also gotten together and made sure the destination has been marketed, so we're still able to have the numbers come in. But there was obviously a slight dip during just post-Winston, but we've picked up.
President of the Fiji Hotel and Tourism Association, Dixon Sito, says more tourists came to Fiji through the effort of all stakeholders by working together to continue to promote Fiji as an attractive destination.
Discounted fares, airfares, National Carry helped in that respect. The hotels also kicked in with reduced rates, so we put together packages that were very attractive. We needed to kickstart the booking activity again.
However, Sito says the challenge now is to get back to normalcy.
We can't sort of run at discounted rates year-round because, we are here to, obviously, to make a profit. The best way for people to help Fiji after this major event is to come and have their holidays here because that's what keeps the economic engine ticking.
Tourism contributes 37% towards Fiji's GDP and provides thousands of people with employment. Sito says it is time for us to think of ways to be more competitive when it comes to tourism, both in our established markets and new and emerging ones. Ellen Stoltz, FBC News.
Coming up on FBC News, more employment for persons with disabilities. And climate change tops EU's priorities. Stay with us.
I'm Sarah, I'm from Tafwa, and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Freddy, I'm from Gamiatong. I listen to Mario on the traffic jam every afternoon.
Hi, my name is Salah, I live in Asinu. Today FM rocks.
My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Mulamila, I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks in Raki Raki.
I'm Mary from Nandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back. Here with FBC News. More persons with disabilities are expected to be absorbed into the workforce from next month. This comes after the government announced in the 2016-2017 budget that it will offer 300% tax deduction on wages paid to employees. Pranita Prakash reports.
The 300% tax deduction on wages paid in the employment of persons living with disabilities will apply for the first 3 years through the revision of the employment taxation scheme. The incentive is being implemented to raise the condition of the disabled and to bring them into the mainstream society.
If we cannot really comply to the current labor laws, then there is another alternative in here where 300% tax rebate for the employers who are able to employ persons with disabilities.
Yanu Tawa says the law only existed under the Employment Relation Promulgation but was never fully exercised. He is now calling on the employers to consider employing people living with disabilities.
Yeah, I think it works both ways because we have the responsibility of the corporate bodies to be able to employ persons with disability. But the responsibility and the onus as well is for persons with disability to lift up their level of competency so that they will be able to be competitive in the work market.
300% tax rebate will expire in 2022. There are currently 11,000 people living with disabilities in Fiji. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Extensive rehabilitation work is now underway on Rewa and Bow Streets, McGregor Road and the Brown Street and Flagstaff Roundabout in Suva. Fulton Hogan Highway Surfacing Manager Clark says Rewa Street is the first to receive an upgrade where sections have deteriorated, causing extensive pothole damage. He says Rewa Street is important to maintain as it's one of the main routes in and out of Suva. Fulton Hogan has completed milling and paving the first 100 meters on Rewa Street, with the remaining section still undergoing rehabilitation. Work will be ongoing on the other routes scheduled for upgrade. Now, motorists are advised to drive with care and follow the speed limit. Foreign Affairs Minister Ratu Inoke Kumbombola has stated that small Pacific Island nations should work collectively to achieve its sustainable development goals. Kumbombola says a streamlined approach is needed to focus on certain areas of the Sustainable Development Goals. Kumbombola is encouraging every government in the Pacific region to collaborate better to ensure that these SDGs are met.
Harnessing traditional knowledge needs to be part of the conversation of implementing these SDGs. For example, SDG 11, building sustainable cities and communities.
Kumbombola believes there are emerging issues in the Pacific that needs more investment in research and more meetings and engagements to develop dialogues. The recent European Days of Development EDD meet in Europe raised hundreds of pressing global issues and saw world leaders converge in Brussels, Belgium for 2 days to discuss these. One of the top issues up for discussion was, of course, the impact of climate change on the global community. Alan Stoss was in Europe and filed the story.
Europe has its own set of problems, from the refugee crisis to the threats of terrorism. However, one underlined global issue that nobody could deny or ignore was climate change. UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon was also a strong voice at the meet, encouraging EU member states to take climate change seriously.
National borders do not defend against climate change, emerging diseases or economic shocks. Our challenges are global and universal, and it is only as a global family that we can overcome them.
Speaking to the media at the EDD 2016 was European Commissioner for International Cooperation and Development, Neven Mimica.
European Union is by far the strongest provider, the biggest provider of the official development assistance in the world. Last year, 68 billion euros.
Who says the EU prioritizes climate change projects. Mimica also highlighted the European Union's commitment in endeavors such as climate change adaptation for Pacific Island countries. This, he says, will be executed through the EU Regional Development Envelope.
We in the European Commission decided to channel at least 20% of the overall European budget for climate-relevant actions.
Working together as a global family was the strongest message that the EU Chief of Foreign Policy, Federica Mogherini, tried to convey.
Probably for the first time in human history, we're looking at our world as finally one world. We're finally starting to understand. My neighbor's prosperity is my own prosperity. Your problem is my problem. It's one word. We are one, and we're finally starting to realize that.
The two-day meet came to an end with the signing of a completion document and various agreements being signed and promises being made. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
Coming up in sports, Chiefs beat the Crusaders in Suva. And Ben Ryan keeps extended squad for another week at least. Stay with us for the details.
आपको खरगंगा की रंजिला का नमस्कार। रेडियो फिजी की सुंदर सुंदर यादों का खजाना एकदम बचपन के दिन याद करा देते हैं।
हमारा नाम जोनी नायडू है, हम रहता है मलोलो में और हम टैक्सी ड्राइवर है। हम सब टाइम अपन टैक्सी में रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता प्रोग्राम।
हम सिंगाचोका के हैं, हमारा नाम है रोजी। हम लोग यहाँ पे रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता है।
राम राम, मैं रेमस प्रसाद बोलता हूँ, तब होता हूँ कोई रहता हूँ। मैं जब भी सुना रेडियो फिजी 2 ही सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Welcome to FBC Sports. Now, the Chiefs beat the Crusaders 23-13 in Suva last night to take the lead at the top of the Super Rugby New Zealand Conference. The hosts outscored the Crusaders by 2-1 in an encounter that will be remembered by many as the first Super Rugby match to be hosted by Fiji. Rohit Deo with the story.
Been a lot of rain over the last 12 hours.
It is not often in Fiji that you see the ANZ Stadium nearly jam-packed with 1 hour remaining to kick off. Well, this was the situation in last night's match when the Chiefs took on the Crusaders in front of a sellout ANZ Stadium. And the fans were treated to some great rugby action, with the Chiefs having the upper hand early on.
Yeah, little stab through. Chases on, he's on his own here. James Lowe. Now McKenzie. Off goes Damien McKenzie. Got his pass away. Weaver's got pace. 2 cuts. And the Chiefs are in again.
Sensational. Just when everyone thought that the Chiefs will have a 17-3 lead at the break, the Crusaders showed why they have won the title 7 times. To the delight of the fans, Fijians Nemani Nandolo and Chone Madilai involved in the try.
To the boot. And Ndolo, beautiful work. Now Fonatia. Crusaders have an opportunity here right on half-time. Ellis. Popped up by Reed. But they're still lined up here as they go wide. Tafua! And that's a popular try for Johnny Mathalai.
Both teams tried hard to cross the try line in the second half but failed to do so. Final score, Chiefs 23, Crusaders 13. Chiefs fullback Damien McKenzie was a standout, and he says his stint in the All Blacks extended squad helped him a lot.
Yeah, you know, I've learnt a lot, obviously, being alongside the calibre of players in the All Blacks and the coaching staff. You know, it's within days, you know, you're learning new stuff, which is great. So I'll try to take most of that on board. Obviously, you know, there's still a lot to work on.
Crusaders captain Kieran Reid says his side went down to a better team on the day.
We wanted to play in their territory, obviously, and I think we did that to a certain extent, especially in the second half. I just weren't able to capitalise on those opportunities we created.
The top 2 New Zealand franchises returned today, and after the reception they got on their first tour, they are likely to return in the coming years. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
In another Super Rugby encounter yesterday, the Brumbies thrashed the Reds 43-24. And here are the tries.
Ready, again goes to Neville. Back to Hendrik Tui. And they break away now, getting very close, they're over! Heading towards the line, and over they go! And it is a try to the co-captain. Frisbee brings him down. Toa charging onto it is Big Ben Alexander! Hanover. Look at the man at the back. Stephen Moore up over the 5-metre mark. Getting close. Charging for the line. It's a try to the Brumbies. Goes to the Reds for the push in the back, and it's taken quickly by Gill, who flings one out wide. And now it is Karevi away from one. And out it goes to Duncan Paiawa. And he has got his first ever try in Super Rugby. To the support player, and Cabelli has a little dart. Fresh legs. Oh yeah, Christian Lealiafano for the corner. It's a try to the Brumbies. Cabelli, Lealiafano, Wong, 5 metres out, now 4. Good recycle, and Cabelli throws a dummy, and he is over. Ominous signs. Wide ball over to Lassi Talialu. Now 2 or 3 metres out, and Tupou getting very close to the line. It's a try.
Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan has not dropped any player from camp this week. Ryan, who had hinted to drop a couple of players this week, will keep everyone in camp for at least another week. Rohit Deo with the story.
Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan has opted not to drop any players from his current squad this week. The national mentor impressed with what the players have been achieving.
Their fitness scores, their strength testing, the size they are, the fat they're losing. You know, we got guys at 6.5% body fat, which is just incredible when some of these guys are 100 kilograms plus. And
Ryan is pleased with the fitness levels of his players. He adds that he is surprised with the targets some players have reached.
It's pretty incredible. Josh, VC and Jerry Tuai are 6.5% body fat. You know, I mean, that's just pure muscle that they're carrying around them, which for sevens is awesome. You know, now in the season, we put a bit of fat on them to just protect them a bit from injuries.
Meanwhile, Jared Hayne rejoins camp on Monday, while Joshua Tuisova will join camp on Wednesday. Ryan names his final 13-member squad on the 15th of this month. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The Neta Siri rugby side upset Suva 22-10 in the Skipper Cup competition today. In another upset, Nandronga broke Nandi's unbeaten run with a 29-13 victory. And in other matches today, Northland beat Madhuwata 20-17, while Namosi thrashed Tailevu 36-3. Now, Namosi leads the points table with 31 points after 8 games. A new winner will be crowned in the Vodafone Fiji FAC competition this year. This after last year's winners Lambasa was bundled out, going down to Nandi 3-2 in extra time in the semi-finals. Lambasa led 2-0 in the second half, but goals from Napoleoni Gasevakatini from the penalty spot and Anish Kem saw the match forced into extra time. Nandi will play the winner of the second semi-final, which is currently underway at Nosuri's Ratadakambau Park between Rewa and Suva. Now, we all experienced showers today, and that's because a trough of low pressure lies over the eastern part of Fiji and is moving further away from the group. Temperatures in Suva was the coolest today, recording 28 degrees, while the rest of the major centres were warm in their 30s. Nandi having 30 degrees, Lautoka 30 degrees, and Ba, Lambasa and Savusavu as well. Tomorrow you can expect occasional showers in Suva, while other centres will experience fine weather apart from afternoon or evening showers. So if you're in Suva, please keep your umbrellas ready. As for the further outlook, occasional showers over the eastern parts and the interior of the larger islands are expected. Moderate southeast winds and moderate to rough seas are expected as well. Recapping our main stories tonight. Super Rugby match hailed a success as Prime Minister Vorengi Bainimarama indicates that Fiji wants to host more matches. More Itoke land development up for commercial, and more than 4 acres of land at Tamuva village in Neta Siri will be developed for commercial purposes. Fiji continues to experience growth in visitor arrivals as well for the first 6 months of the year, despite the devastation caused by Tropical Cyclone Winston. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. We move on to this week's poll question. Do you agree with FERCA publicly listing second-hand vehicle prices? To answer, visit our FBC website. You can also send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email, citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj, or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News. If you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Good night.
Alango katonisia tuotua, ongonia saurara, ondo wulwul tagitunga na TV ni na market e tawa. Ondo talitanga na waronga na Bula FM na bandu na sir.
Pula mana viti, na dango plasio matairi, ngon mai na na bulo tabiuni, au sa tunga nandi, ando talita ina warongo na Bula FM. Bula!
Bula FM, number 2 and seri.